So my grandmother actually passed away pretty recently. It's been a few months now. Everyone's doing okay. Time heals all wounds, as they say. It wasn't like a quick process, but it wasn't like super dragged out either. It was like just right, if you can even say that. She fell and broke her leg. Had to have surgery, and like her body just like couldn't handle and shut down. Got put into hospice with like a week's like expectancy, which it was. And like that was enough time to do like, final FaceTimes, which is what I got to do. So like very thankful for like FaceTime. It's such a useful tool. My mother got to go out and actually visit her in person, which I think is very important to be able to do. So very happy that got to happen. And she was able to tell me about the situation and how it was. I'm asking like, how was the final week and how was she doing? And she was there, like the family that lived close by. A lot of time always had family there, visiting, and she was sitting there and had her like favorite show on TV, and like that got me thinking. I'm just like, oh man, like what would my last show be like if I'm in, if I'm on my deathbed and just like what would my last show be? And that's pretty easy for me to answer. It's Dragon Ball Z. I would need a pretty significant like story arc coming up in my future that would like really beat that nostalgia value. Like I would very peacefully and comfortably, like that would make me feel very comfortable, just like watching Dragon Ball Z on the TV for one last time in that last week. And that's what it's got this thought experiment going that I've kept actually been replaying in my head like over and over again, trying to make this video. Uh, and like I want to try to capture this on camera, and that'd be, if, for argument's sake, if I'm able to in that situation, or any of us in that situation, we have our hands are working, our brains working enough that like, and we want to and we're able to. What would the last game you ever play is? What would be the last game I ever play? And it's easy to write this off first, and it's like there's no way you're laying in your deathbed and you even like want to play games. Like you're literally like, your body's failing. Like there's no way you can do that. Like watching TV is one thing, it's in the background. Who knows if she was even paying attention to it, or if we would be able to really pay attention to it, kind of going in and out of consciousness. uh well, okay, fine. So in this situation, with that answer, you've already played your last game. Okay, so then let's rewind the clock. When did you play your last game? Let's just throw out some numbers there. Let's say that this last week of your life, you're in like your 90s. So at that point, you can't function, you can't play your last game with that answer. Uh, so when did you play your last game? Was it in your 80s? Were you 85? Were you 80? Were you 75? Let's just say 80. Let's say at 80 years old. And what's the reason why we played our last game? Are our fingers hurting really bad? Like, is our brains like just not working? We're like something about it. We're like we're not enjoying it anymore. And so, whether it's 75, 76, 77, 80 years old, at some point we're all gonna play our last game. Plenty of people out there probably already played their last games because they're just not like as big into gaming as like we are, and they just don't know that they've played their last game. But so if you're 80 and you decide is your last game, like is it just like you just put down the controller and never play it again? Or for like gamers like us, are we gonna pick? Are we gonna romanticize and pick what is gonna be our final game of this existence, of this life? What's that final game we're gonna play? Is it gonna be something like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Like one last pass through it, you know? Which I don't know though. This game, you can spend as many hours as you want in it. You can spend like 20 hours and beeline the main story, or you can spend hundreds of hours in it. So is that a really good option for a first game? Plus, like maybe you've already played this multiple times. Is this the type of game that you'd want to do? Because when do you end it? Maybe it's something you don't want to end, and you just get stuck in this open world, and it doesn't feel like a really good conclusion. And maybe you just kind of like don't even finish it, and just like it just sails off into the distance, and then just one day you just don't pick up the controller and never play again. I don't know, maybe that won't be a satisfying ending to the gaming career. I've played Gears of War probably the most. This is such a big comfort game for me. I've played this campaign probably more than any other campaign. It's pretty short and sweet, and I think it's like a 8 to 10 hour campaign. I've played it so many times, played it on co-op, many different versions. But is that going to be something I want to play as my last game? Because I've already done it so many times that I'm just kind of going through the motions, and like, is it Do I really want to do that for my last time? What about like a brand new game? I haven't played Expedition 33 yet. I hear great things about it. It's probably going to win Game of the Year. But at that point in my life, am I going to want to risk it on a new experience? Like, just because this is Game of the Year, like by then, like maybe I'm just like, you know, I don't vibe with what the kids like these days. And like, I don't know. It's a risk. What if I don't like the story? What if I don't like the game or the mechanics? Like, do I want to jump into an unknown and just finish off my gaming career with just a new experience? I don't know. That's a bit of a gamble. Now, maybe if that new experience is like a new 3D Mario or a new 3D Zelda, maybe that could be a very cool way to go out and finish. But like, you're kind of reliant on like, do they end up releasing? That's a very like timing issue. Like, is a brand new game that you already know you like in a franchise that can come out? But even still, like, what if they change it? To be honest, this is going to be a hot controversial take, but I don't even like Breath of the Wild as much as a lot of people. Yeah, it's autographed, but that's just because I went to like a anime convention and the voice actress for Zelda was there, and it was kind of like a why not thing. I have very big mixed feelings about Breath of the Wild because I'm a huge fan of Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, like those really tightly designed 3D Zelda games. So this open world almost doesn't really feel like a Zelda game to me. It feels like, I don't know, we have 2D Zelda and 3D Zelda, and then there's this open world Zelda, like as a third version, a third type of Zelda. I don't know. But yeah, so like if that new Zelda was like a 3D Zelda, like if I really liked Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, and then they release a brand new 3D Zelda when I'm 80 years old, I'm like, this is gonna be my last experience. I would have been very disappointed with this one. In fact, I was disappointed when I first played it. I had to revisit it and play it a second time with a better headspace before I'm like, I really like this game. I do like the game a lot, and I like Tears of the Kingdom too. But you know, it had to grow on me a little bit. And when you're 80, and if that's your last game that you're playing, you don't have time to let it grow on you anymore, do you? What if your favorite game is like a Souls-like game? That's a very hot type of game. I recently played Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, and I don't know this. I might have already played this game for the last time. I might never replay this game. Uh, who knows? But at 80 years old, do you think I'm not sure if any 80-year-old is going to be able to play a Souls-like game? This was very intense, very difficult on the hands, on the controller, and on the brain. I don't know if that's going to be experience. Like, if it's great if you like Souls games like a lot and that's your favorite genre. I want to explore it more myself. But is it going to be final game worthy, even if it's your favorite game? Like if Elden Ring or Wu Chang or Dark Souls and Demon Souls, if these are your favorite games, is that going to be your last game, or is that just like too much? And so one of the answers to this question is maybe all of these games deserve one more playthrough, before 80. I can't choose just one game. I want to play both Breath of the Wild one more time before I die and Gears of War. I want to play both these games one more time. I'm in my early 30s, and let's say we have till 80. So I don't know, 50 years. Well, those are just two games, but I can say right now I probably want to play every Zelda game one more time. I want to play every Mario game one more time, at least the 3D ones and the modern 2D ones. I don't need to play like Mario Bros or Mario 2 again, even though I will, but I don't need to plan on that. I want to play all the Metroid games. I want to play all the Final Fantasy games. I want to play all the Halo games. I want to play all the Gears of War games again, one more time. It's easy to say that. I want to play all the Final Fantasy, 7 remakes. Yeah. And then, like I said, then there's also games that I haven't played yet because you can't play everything every year. I want to play more of the Souls-like games. These aren't new games that are going to come out. They're already out. So if I want to play through, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring, Demon Souls, if I want to play all those, that's time too. I told you I didn't play Expedition 33. I want to play this. There's a ton of RPGs and JRPGs, and those are long games. And that's not including new games that are coming out. We have Wolverine that's coming out this year, and that's just this year. So already more's getting piled up. So in terms of the backlog, if I want to, at some point, when do we stop buying new games and just focus on playing those games one last time? There's a lot of Zelda games, and by the time this cutoff point happens where you hit this peak and it's all right, we hit this point, and from here on out, from I don't know, let's say age 50 to 80. That's 30 years to play every Zelda game one more time. And not just like a checklist. Like I want to enjoy these games. I want to be immersed and enjoy these games. Play every Zelda game one more time. Every Halo, every Mario. Like I don't know. At some point, I feel like there's a point between you know that 80 years old of our final game, and like I should stop buying new games. And if I truly want to play these games one more time, if I want to play Breath of the Wild one more time and like truly play it, like I'm talking about like 100 hours, get all the shrines, like I really want to play this one more time. At some point, there's probably like a point where it's like we should probably start doing this, and maybe like you know not add more to the backlog and just like live and explore the backlog. And like I said, I might never play Wu Chang again. uh I'm gonna keep in the backlog just in case. You never know. Maybe I start playing the Dark Souls and the Souls like again one more time, and then it's like the whole genre clicks with me more and more and more. And I'm like, oh man, like Wu Chang was my first one. I'm getting nostalgic for it. I want to play it again. Or maybe I just have it to pass on to my kids, or just have it as an option for my kids to play. So I'm gonna keep this in my backlog. But you know, when you so if we hit the 50 to 80 where we stop buying new games and we're just playing our backlogs, maybe in the mindset one more time. I play Breath of the Wild one more time between the age of 50 and 80. At that point, do I need it in my collection anymore? Am I going to be like, that was the last time I played this, I'm probably not going to play this again? Is it time to pass it on? Do I pass it on to my kids? Do I sell it? I mean, like maybe you don't have to sell everything. Maybe like Wu Chang I would sell because I don't have as big a nostalgia for it as maybe Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Probably not buying too many new games at that time, but like in terms of like you see videos of like YouTubers, like imagine all my walls are just filled with games already. Just like this entire wall is just like filled with games. If they want to play every single one of those games one more time between now and that, let's say 80 years old, they might need to like start now and like not like add more to that backlog. But that again, that's also like treating it like a checklist. I think like the answer for me is I'm gonna keep growing my backlog now while I'm like working my 9 to 5s. I'm not retired yet. Now's the time to add to the backlog because it's easy to say like, yeah, I want to play all the Zelda games one more time. I want to play all the Mario games one more time. Halo, Gears. I want to play all these one more time. And maybe like right now, I'm gonna say, you know what? Like, yeah, I want Gears of War to be my last game that I want to play. But that's what I'm saying right now, and I don't know what's gonna come out or what's gonna change. I mean, like Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably my favorite game of all time right now. That didn't exist back in 2005 when Gears of War first came out. When this took title, my favorite game of all time. And so like we don't know how we're gonna feel like by the time we're 80. I don't know. Maybe our because our tastes are gonna change. I don't know. It could be like I want to play Mario 64 one more time. Like we get like nostalgic for something down the road, and like that's like I want to play this one more time. Or maybe the game isn't a single player game even. Maybe it's just like I'm gonna play Mario Kart in like the retirement home with a bunch of other like old people, and that's just what we do. They play N64 and GameCube in the retirement home. Just have LAN parties every day. So maybe that ends up being like the last game. Yeah, I don't know the answer to this, to be honest. I've been thinking about this, keep going down the loop, and it always leads me to like, when is the backlog enough? When is it time to scale down the backlog? I don't think I'm at the point now to scale down the backlog, but I think at some point with our backlogs, we're gonna hit this peak and start going down. We're like, and start like consciously knowing that's like this is the last time I play this game. Because I played it. If let's say I play this game this year or next year, let's say this is the RPG I choose to play. I'd probably only play it one more time throughout my life, to be honest. I think of a lot of the JRPGs I've played and just RPGs in general. I've played once, and if I ever want to replay them again and re-experience them, I'm probably only going to do it one more time, and that's it. And so then this game is really keeping around for, am I going to pass it on to my kids? Because, kids are expensive. It'd be nice to have a bunch of games here. It's like you can play these games without having to pay a subscription service. Get used out of the games, pass them down. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's an option to sell, I suppose. But hopefully I have my retirement like funds figured out that I don't need to like rely on this. Or just like, I don't want to treat games in the backlog as like a big checklist, especially approaching, I guess, the end of my gaming career. I don't want it to be a big checklist, so I still want to have like like flexibility and just being like fluid with it. Uh, and so maybe this does end up being my last game, and it surprises me. And it's like maybe I play this and I like it so much, or I don't know, some kind of just like retrospective. I'll get nostalgia from like, that game was so good. I want to play that one more time. That's what makes me happy because I don't know, gaming's just entertainment in the end. And yeah, I think that's what the backlog's for. It's a place to explore. I don't think it should be a checklist, but at the same time, there has to be a little bit of checklisty things in there if you do want to, I don't know, play these games one more time. And yeah, it's still early to think like that, I suppose. I'm still building and all that, but yeah, it does make you wonder, like, and maybe 80's aggressive, maybe it's 65. Uh, we only have so much time in the day working like 9 to 5s, and then I don't know, maybe we hit that 65. We're finally able to retire, and it's not like we're gonna be able to play 8 hours a day. We're gonna be older, uh, and yeah, just being able to sit there and it's like, so okay, so maybe we have like 15 years to play games, but we can only like actually play like 2 hours a day before we're too tired and need naps, need our nap time, and then just kind of want to watch TV. Like I don't know, or we're just playing more casual games like Wii bowling. We're not playing Souls like between the age 65 and 80. So maybe I only have till now and 60 to play a game to play my Souls like games. I don't know. But yeah, it's just something that like I've been thinking about for a while now, and I wanted to capture on video. And what do you guys think? Is this something you've ever thought of? Just like the final game. What's the final game you want to play in your gaming career? Yeah, I don't know. It's the Zelda Ocarina of Time, Gears of War Reloaded, Final Fantasy VII. These are all things that come to mind, but who knows what it's gonna be? I don't know. Could be Mario 64. I think Mario 64 was my first game I ever played. That'd be pretty like romanticized to have that be the last game too. But I don't know. Are my old hands gonna want to use the N64 controller? I don't know. I don't know. Or deal with that like chunky camera. Like it might be too difficult. I don't know. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments and see you in the next video.